Hey, it's easy video on the game of Love Letter and Lost Legacy: The Flying Garden. So in Love Letter, super quick micro game. I have the French edition because it was cheaper by $2 here in Canada. Everyone gets a reference card explaining what each card does, and you have the instruction books. Traditionally, it's supposed to be played over several rounds, and you collect coins. No, you do collect cubes to carry your points over, but you just play one round and you get the whole gist of the game. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to be the last one alive. If you do that, you successfully win the round. Otherwise, if everyone survives, you're trying to have the highest valued card in your hand at the end of the game. And if you do, then you're the winner. If for some reason you both have the same value at the end of the game in your hand, then the person who had played the highest valued number of cards in their tableau in front of them is the winner. So here, this person would win because they have a higher value compared to this 7 versus 6. Looking at the reference card here, there's 8 different numbers in this edition. Newer editions also include the 0, the spy. So we have the guard, 5 copies. The priest, 2 copies. Baron, 2. The handmaid, 2. Prince, 2 copies. The king, 1 copy. The countess, 1 copy. And the princess, 1 copy. So what do they do? Well, the guard here, name a card that isn't a guard and choose another player. If that player has the named card, they are eliminated. So that's how you get people out. 5 copies of this. Pretty easy. Since everything you play is face up, you can do card counting. However, in the game, always one card is discarded without anyone seeing it. So there is slightly imperfect information. The priest here, look at the hand of another player. So you just compare the hand value of another person. And then you just get information for the future rounds so that you could play a guard in the future. The Baron here, you and another player compare your hands secretly. The player with the weaker value is eliminated. So if you play the Baron, you would have another card in your hand and you compare the hand value, and the higher value is the winner, so the lower value gets eliminated, including yourself. The handmaid here, until your next turn, ignore all effects of other cards, so you can't be targeted by any card. So this just stays up in front of you for a whole round. So you'd play it, and then you'd be protected. So if someone knows you have a weak hand, well, they can't target you for any card effects until the start of your next round. The prince here, choose another player. This can be yourself. They must discard their hand and pick up a new card from the deck. So this is an easy way to eliminate someone. If they have the guard or if they have the princess, because for the princess's ability, if you discard this card, you are eliminated. The king here, trade hands with another player of your choice. The countess here, if you have this card and your other card in your hand is the king or the prince, you must discard the countess. So how the game works is that each turn, you always have one card in your hand, and then you always draw from the deck. And then out of the 2 cards in your hand, you have to play one of them. So if for some reason I drew the prince, well, for the countess's ability, she has to be discarded as per her card text. So if I have the prince or the king in my hand, this one must be played. Lastly, for the princess, if you discard this card, you are eliminated. So how do you actually play? It plays up to 4 people, but you could include more. The deck runs out is when the game's over. Deal everyone a starting card, and always one card gets burned, so no one could perfectly card count. There. Then I'll draw 1 card. Start the game, draw a card from the deck. Then out of the 2 cards in your hand, you have to play one. So I'll play this, compare hand values to notice the player secretly. Okay, so my 6 beats the 1, because for the Baron, compare values, and the lower value gets defeated. So this person would discard their hand, face up, there we go. This would play face up in front of me, and the next player would go. Okay, so they can play either one. They can probably play this, so keep this in their hand, because at the end of the game, the higher value wins. So, name a guard. And since you can card count here, well, we can see that 1 Baron is gone. We can see 1 guard is gone. So this person, let's say it's a prince, and we secretly look. Well, no, you don't look. They just announce truthfully if they're a prince or not. So, they are a prince. They were eliminated. Awesome. Okay. And you just keep going until you're the last player alive, or when the deck runs out completely, the person with the higher value in their hand is the winner. So, yeah, there we go. So Lost Legacy is another micro game made by the similar person. Slightly different mechanism, but same easy gameplay. So what's the objective here? You're trying to find the number 5 card, which is the spaceship. How do you do that? Well, at the end of the game, when the deck runs out, you get to search through the ruins or anybody's hand based on your number value. So number 1 gets to look first, whereas number 8 gets to look last. So what do? Setup, shuffle a deck, place a card in front of each player, and also put 1 card off to the side. That's called the ruins. And then on your turn, just take a card from the deck, and then out of the 2 cards, play 1 from your hand, and apply the effect. And at the end, once the deck runs out, everyone announces what number value they have, going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. If you have an X in your hand, you do not get to search. So try to get rid of the X. So when you're searching, people will have a card value in their hand. We're looking for the number 5. So I guess you need a number higher than 5, or else you won't get a chance to find it. However, if the number 5 is in the face down ruins, you have a chance to look for it then if you are not eliminated yet. So we're all looking for the number 5. If you get eliminated or you play this card in front of you, this goes into the ruins, and then you just shuffle the ruins so no one can find that location. The Saint, the number 1, there's only 1 copy. That's what the blue dot indicates in the corner. If you are eliminated, but you have the Saint face up in your played pile, discard your hand, flip this face down, and then draw a new card, and you are not eliminated, just for 1 round. Or you get 1 save. The Necromancer here, return any player's discards, so all the cards they played face up, and then put it into the deck and shuffle the deck. Adventurer, look at 2 cards in the ruins, and you may exchange 1 of those cards with your hand. Guardian, collect all players' hands without looking at them, shuffle the cards face down, and deal it back out to each player at random. Number 6, False Rumors, draw 2 cards, then place a card from your hand into any player's discard and another in the ruins, so this burns through the deck faster. Storyteller. During the investigation phase, each storyteller in your discards allows you to make an additional investigation. So by default, everyone gets 1 investigation. An investigation priority is based on who has the lower number value, so 1 gets to look first. So when it gets to your turn, you get 1 chance to look at a card. But if you have multiple storytellers in your discard pile, you get an extra chance per storyteller when it gets to your phase. Since there's 3 copies, I guess you could have 3 copies plus 1 default chance. And Curse, this is like the guard in a love letter. Name a number from 1 to 8. You cannot name X, which is the wound. Look at another player's hand. If they have that card in their hand, they are eliminated. And the wound here is just a dead card. If a wound is added to your discards, and you already have a wound, so if you have 2 wounds, you're out of the game. So you're trying not to play too many wounds, but sometimes you have to. So every player gets 1, get 1 for the ruins, and then there's a deck. So I'll look at my hand, I have a wound, that sucks. So I'll draw a card, and then play a card. The one I play down is the effect I activate. Well, I want to get rid of my wound, just in case. But another player could put a wound in my pile and eliminate me. So I'll keep this in my hand. This player over here, they have the Saint. They draw a wound. Okay, A or B. They'll probably play the Saint, because if they get eliminated by a wound, they can get revived by the Saint. So they'll play the Saint face up. That's great. Over here, the Necromancer and Storyteller. They want to keep the lower number in their hands, so they get first search priority. So Storyteller here, they'll play it in front of them, so they get 2 attempts to look at the end of the game. Storyteller, Curse. Let's play the Curse card, just for variety. So name a number from 1 to 8. Well, there's only 1 copy of the Saint. We know that. Let's see. Does this player have the numbers 4? And look at their hand. They don't. We can't name an X, so a wound doesn't count. So they're safe. So you just keep doing that until the deck runs out. And then when the deck does run out, the person, okay, so who has a number 1 in their hand? No one. Who has a number 2? This person does. So they get first search priority. So The number 5 card we're looking for is either in the graveyard or in someone's hand. So they get 1 attempt. Let's say it was in the graveyard. The ruins, nope, it was not here. So likely someone has it in their hand then, because you would go through the whole deck before we start investigating. Boom. So if there are multiple ruins, for example, when you're investigating, you just look at the 1 card, and it's public knowledge, and you do not shuffle up the ruins. When exploring the ruins, when another card is ruined, place it to right of any cards already in the ruins. When it allows you to shuffle the ruins, mix all the cards together without looking at them, then place them in the row. Investigation phase, when the deck runs out. Speed order, any 1s, any 2s. If people have the same investigation speed, they cannot investigate at all. Also, a number X can't investigate. Choose a card from someone's hand, even your own, or from the ruins, reveal it. If it's a number 5, Lost Legacy, you win. Otherwise, the next player goes. Okay, Necromancer, eliminated players, their discards get to be swept up as well. Storytellers, you can't search multiple times if you have an X. The Flying Garden will always be in the ruins. You can't use a Saint if there are no more cards in the deck. But you are not eliminated from the game. When you flip over the card in the ruins, reveal it to all players. Don't shuffle it.